let me move on to right now to Homeland Security, because again, I say this about each one because as you think about it, you can't help it. But tell me that this is probably not number one on the list, Homeland Security, where you can see a massive change, because this is something the president campaigned on, he talked about, and we all saw the consequences of in our communities. The open border policies of the Biden administration are over. And in 100 days, we saw how much quicker and how much safer. And again, you think about the team that's over there. I talked about it with Health and Human Services. Think about it here. You've got Kristi Noem, the secretary, Tom Homan, Steve Miller, Rodney Scott at the Customs and Border Patrol, ICE. We've had some of those guests on the show. I mean, Tom Homan laid it out real quick. The level of deportations that occurred. Take a look.
What's your total deportation so far?
Well over 100,000. I mean, I looked at the ICE arrests.
You're over 100,000 now.
Yeah.
So you wanted to take the worst first. Have you gone through the worst?
No, we got a long ways to go.
Well, who else is left?
Well, when we
All
started
the criminals
this thing, it's just shy of 700,000 illegal aliens in this country with a criminal conviction or pending criminal charges. So we got a lot of work to do. I looked at the numbers the other day, just yesterday. ICE interior enforcement arrests are just below 75,000, which is 3 times more than Biden did in the same time frame when he was president. So ICE is making a lot of arrests, but there's more work to do. And actually, we had a series of meetings this past week. We're going to increase the number of the operation teams. We're going to increase worksite enforcement. Because of sanctuary cities policy, what we're going to do with sanctuary cities, we're going to flood the zone. So if one agent can't arrest one bad guy in the jail and they choose to release him in the community, it means I can send a whole team to look for him. So in sanctuary cities, we're going to flood the zones with agents. If we can't take them in the jail like we should, the safety and security of a jail, then we'll go to the community and find them. And that takes a lot of people. So if we can't arrest them in the jail, we'll arrest them in the community. If we can't find them in the community, we'll arrest them at the work site. We're going to increase work site investigations too. Less agents in the jail means more agents in the communities, more agents in the worksite. Let us in the jail. Let us arrest a public safety threat and the security and safety of a jail. Releasing a public safety threat back in the community, it's just foolish. It increases the threat of public safety. So we're going to do what we got to do to get these people off the street. I wish they let us in the jail. It'll be a lot easier, a lot more efficient, and a hell of a lot more safe.
What a difference. I feel safer. I think both of you guys do. The policy is completely shifted from letting everyone just come in, giving them a free cell phone and a gift card. And you think about this, right? The Democrats are whining about protecting gang members, people who abuse women. What's going on? This country, the differences used to be about taxes and the size and scope of government. Now you have one party that is saying, we believe that you should secure the border and keep criminals out. And another supporting the criminals. You think back, I've played these clips before about Democrats in the past who talked about, I mean, even Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama talked about the need for a secure border. It wasn't until Biden when they openly flouted it. You think about it. We had nearly 200,000 people a month flooding the country under Biden. 12 million. And these are low numbers. These are the ones that they say. I actually think the number is a heck of a lot higher. The number of people that came in was insane, and it's just come to an almost zero stop. Border encounters are getting down to close to zero. Unreal. I could go on in this thing, but I want to get to HUD, to the Housing and Urban Development. You remember that in the first term, that was Ben Carson. This is now being led by Scott Turner. We had him on the show. He talked about all of the changes that are being made in the area of housing. Take a look.
Just one day after standing up our task force at HUD, we uncovered $260 million in savings for the American people. After 1 week, we uncovered $4 million in canceled contracts for DEI cultural transformation, including outward mindset training and diversity and inclusion research subscription services. $4 million that could have gone to serve the American people, time wasted where we could have been serving the American people that we at HUD have been called to serve. But I will tell you this today, and I want to be very clear, that DEI at HUD is dead.
DEI at HUD was dead. You remember when we were over the White House, we had the opportunity to talk to Secretary Turner. He made that clear. Again, the focus is on what it's supposed to be. The focus is on housing and helping people and development, not about setting forth a woke agenda. All right. I want to talk about a department that doesn't get its due. This is another one that's interesting to me. The Department of Interior, Governor Doug Burgum, now Secretary Burgum. This is the drill, baby, drill department. We don't get a lot of attention on this one because people are like, what's the Department of Interior do? But these are the guys that are about mining, fracking, drilling. This is where it all happens in the Department of Interior. These are getting this effort is getting us back to energy independence. And it's also like, I think this is like, the other ones that I talked about get us like a lot of the headlines and the attention. Burgum doesn't get the big headlines and the attention, but he's doing an amazing job. Let me play you a clip of some of what he has to say.
Thanks to the leadership and vision of President Donald J. Trump, America is on the fast track to energy dominance. The Department of the Interior has played a big role in notable accomplishments made to increase production and make energy affordable again in the first 100 days of this administration. At President Trump and Secretary Burgum's direction, we are treating our natural resources as national assets on America's balance sheet.
So we're gonna mine, baby, mine. We're gonna get critical minerals going, so we're stop buying critical minerals from China. We're gonna map, baby, map, so we get the U.S. Geological Survey going back and actually discovering all the resources we have on Americans' balance sheet,
which are being sustainably developed to create good-paying American jobs, balance the budget, and pay down the national debt. Interior announced a dramatic overhaul of energy permitting.
Look, they're out there crushing this thing. This is, again, untold story, but this is what's getting us back to energy independence and the focus on what really matters, not the stuff that you didn't. I don't even know what the Biden administration was doing in this area, to be honest with you. But I want to move our focus now to the Department of Justice and the FBI. Again, Pam Bondi, Department of Justice, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino leading the FBI. The first 100 days, Pam Bondi, holy smokes, these guys are going after the bad guys. You see the focus. Remember all the lawfare, the weaponization, all that occurred under Biden? We are now crushing it. And I want to play you a bit of what Pam had to say when it comes to what they did in the first 100 days.
I was at DEA yesterday, and they said to me, you, Donald Trump, have taken the handcuffs off of DEA agents. And as a result of, since you have been in office, President Trump, your DOJ agencies have seized more than 22 million fentanyl pills, 3,400 kilos of fentanyl since you've been your last 100 days, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day because they're taking this junk laced with something else. They don't know what they're taking. They think they're buying a Tylenol or an Adderall and a Xanax, and it's laced with fentanyl, and they're dropping dead. And no longer because of you, what you've done. ATF, since you've been in office, President, along with DOJ agencies, seized 14,500 guns off the streets. Why aren't people reporting that? 651,000 rounds of ammo. That's up 151% from 2024. That's keeping America safe. We've rescinded death penalty. We are now seeking the death penalty on cases. I'm signing death warrants. We are going after terrorism. We are going after arsonists. Whether you're burning Teslas, we've arrested 9 people so far in 7 jurisdictions, no negotiations, 20 years in prison, or you're burning down the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. We will be there to protect you. And I've been talking to Governor Shapiro, and he greatly appreciated you reaching out as well. ISIS terrorist, we got one in New York, right around the corner. We got an ISIS terrorist in New York. We have an October 7th task force. We just broke up a huge human trafficking ring by the Sinaloa cartel. 1,000 pounds of methamphetamine on our streets. Ton of fentanyl, 20,000 Molly pills. Those are the drug of choice among at clubs and bars for young kids. They were fake, but you know what they had in them? Fentanyl. That's 20,000 lives saved because of you right there. We brought back 29 cartel members from Mexico at your direction, and one killed the Kiki Camareno, a DEA agent in 1985. And many of us got to talk to his widow and his son, who is now a judge. And they started crying. They have tried to get that guy back forever. And thanks to so many of you in this room working together, they have justice. They were crying on the phone because of what you did, President Trump.
Look at that. Listen to that stat, right? I mean, that's amazing. She's doing that, getting those drugs off of the street. They're actually doing things that make our lives safer. She's protecting us against child predators, rescuing 115 children across the country in the process. I mean, this is actually saving lives. They're not just going after the cases that she's talking about and the stuff that they're prosecuting or defending. But under her jurisdiction is DEA and ATF, all these other things that are keeping our country safe. Why? Because the priorities are straight. They know what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that's the key thing, in my opinion.
Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.